Hi, hi.
I have
Can
to
you
de-dither
see?
myself.
De-dither.
I'm in the dither.
Undither?
I have to
Oh, it would
undither.
appear that it is working. Let's see if it
Okay.
keeps working. Hooray. Hooray for that. Hi, everybody.
Technology and I
They don't
are
get on well, but we love you anyway.
not a good match. Not a good match.
We love you anyway, don't we?
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for that.
I apologize now. I'm dying of the plague. I dragged myself upstairs because I just couldn't be without you. But when I'm done, I shall go back to my cave. Everybody's sick. It's one of those. It is the time. 'Tis the season for everyone
Everybody's
to be sick.
Everybody who's healthy is doing construction
Yeah,
on the roads
it is true.
of Los Angeles. You
It is
can't get
true.
anywhere from anywhere.
It would be funny if it wasn't so annoying.
Yeah.
It would be hilarious if you could actually get around anywhere. Yeah, it's been a party. Yeah, it looks like everything is working, which is my favorite way for things to be.
Yep.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
We've had an interesting and fun couple of weeks. My parents were at the Coronado Film Festival last week, which is why we were not live.
And I'll tell you more about that.
And you
we had some good
had
experiences there.
You had a blast.
We had a really good time.
You guys had a wonderful time.
Which we always do, but this year there were two things that made it different. One was that they were actually showing some films I wanted to see at times I could see them.
Yeah, which is a big this festival. My dad has been a part of it from the beginning.
Yeah, 8 years ago, I believe.
And he's on their board, and it's one of those things where it's a lot of fun for you guys to go down, but you don't always get to enjoy it. Yeah. Because it's kind of in the middle of a chaotic time for us.
And also, it's tough to enjoy your own party.
Yeah. Well, as you say, this is your tax season. This is the busy season for us. Yep. This is when it is most chaotic and busy, and will be for a little while. So you don't always get to sort of sit and enjoy everything. But as I say, you got to meet some interesting people.
Yes.
And you saw some friends, which was wonderful.
Meredith Book, who is the CEO of the festival, had her work cut out for her because the actors were still on strike when she was planning.
Oh, yeah.
Planning
That's
this.
A whole other. And he may not be off strike.
And yeah, I know. And, all anybody really wants to see.
Hi, Days. Bye-bye. Are you going to go out? Are you going to go to the park? Have so much fun. I love you. I love you. Have fun.
Bye,
at the
darling.
Park. Sorry.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All anybody really wants at any film festival is movie stars.
Yes.
I mean, directors are great. Writers are nice. Yeah. Movie stars. They want to see movie stars.
It's true of all things. It's what people want.
Right. That's why they're stars.
Yeah.
And she lucked out because the one woman who had said yes to her was Diane Ladd, now 87, about to turn 88 this next week, I think.
Yeah.
And she made a film that had a waiver from Screen Actors Guild and AFTRA.
As several folks have.
So it was not illegal or immoral for her to show up.
It was neither illegal nor immoral for such things.
And she's quite a character. Really, really interesting woman with a lot to say.
What's up? Hi, baby.
That's my granddaughter, her daughter, Daisy.
Bye-bye, honey. Have a good time. Have a good time. And there go the dogs. I'm fairly certain I have a fever today. I feel pretty confident in saying I definitely have a fever today.
Anyway, so Diane was there, and they screened a nice little movie that she made with Mary Stuart Masterson. It's and Andrew McCarthy.
Yeah.
Called Isle of Hope, and it's a sweet film. It's really a vehicle. It's a vehicle for these talented actresses.
And why not?
And why not?
And why not?
But I also got to see Maxine's Baby, which just debuted on online Friday, which is the story of Tyler Perry, and it's really interesting. I learned a lot, but I learned a lot of things I didn't know. I had no idea about.
Yeah.
I didn't know how he struggled. I didn't know
Oh yeah.
how far rock bottom he had
Yeah.
gone in his young life.
Yeah.
He had nothing to lose when he,
Oh, I was at a restaurant with a friend of mine and her mother. Her mother is quite similar to my mother in that they don't have
indoor voices.
also an edit button. I was going to say edit button. And she walked up to Tyler Perry, said, I'm a big fan. He could not have been nicer because he's lovely. And she goes, so just quick, are you gay or no? Are you gay? I feel like everybody must ask you this question. Are you gay? And it is hands down one of the funniest moments of my entire life when I also wanted to sink into the floor and simultaneously wanted to say, no, but really, are you? Anyway, it was a moment. But no, he's done so much. He really has, and as much as people can make fun of the Medea stuff, he's built an empire and he supports a hell of a lot of people.
He sure does.
He really supports a hell of a lot of people. And he's generous. So, at least that.
It's a very impressive life story.
Yeah.
A few weeks ago, I saw one that I think just went up online called Sly.
Yeah.
This is a tangent now.
Yeah.
We call this a tangent.
Yeah.
Because it's not disconnected. Not disconnected. It's another documentary biofilm.
Yeah.
Produced by Sylvester Stallone about Sylvester Stallone.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting. He doesn't go easy on himself. I mean, he talks about his failures and his thwarted ambitions and when he was maybe a little too full of himself. And it's bookended by moving men, and they're all men, moving men, packing up his house at the top of Mulholland Drive, that wealthy community up there, because he decided that he needed to do something to wake himself up.
Yeah, so he decided to sell that house, and he sold it to Adele for $50-something million.
Yeah, and moved back east,
as one does,
up to Florida, I think.
Yes, Shannon, I'm okay. I'm sick. In fact, I there's a very solid chance I have a fever right now. I'm sick, but I'm okay. Just good old fashioned sick. This is what happens when you hang out with really small humans. Is they're just like beautiful little cesspools, and so you find yourself ill all of the time. That is the stage that I am in of motherhood.
Yes, we live in a giant petri dish
covered in germs, but I'm okay, thank you. I love how he supported the late Cicely Tyson. Oh yes, with Tyler Perry, absolutely.
Oh yes.
No, as I say, I have a great deal of respect for him.
Yeah,
I really do. Sylvester Stallone's an interesting one because I think that he is better than a lot of people think I think a lot of people sort of see him as this, at this point, a little bit cartoonish, figure. But he cares very deeply. And he loves all of this.
He does. And
so
he doesn't mention Creed at all.
That's odd.
It's more than odd.
Yeah, that is very strange.
Excuse me, because he talks about what motivated each of the Rocky films.
Sure. Well, that's weird because he did all that. Like, he seemed to have liked Creed. He did all that promo for it.
Yes, he did.
Came to your class for it.
Yep.
So I'm sorry. I'm not. Memories as they pop up. So Sylvester Stallone came to my dad's class at USC with Creed.
Well, Ryan Coogler,
yes,
who took the class and is the USC cinema grad, came with his colleagues that he met at school, that he still works with, and
Sylvester Stallone. And my husband was so excited because he's a big Sylvester Stallone fan. Was so excited, and I said to him when he came in, I said, "Well," and he goes, "He's disappointingly small," and so that's now our favorite thing to say when we're trying to describe an actor: disappointingly small or disappointingly short. Sylvester Stallone is quite petite, all things considered. He's not that short, but he's just not. I think we all picture kind of like, almost like The Rock.
Yeah.
You picture like a big ol', and he just isn't. So that was one of the early, for my husband, that was one of the early celebrities he got to see before he realized that they're all really tiny. So you just get used to it.
Anyway, Sly is online. I think it's on Prime. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But seeing the Tyler Perry movie in Coronado is what put me on that tangent. and I'm now closing that tangent to go back to Coronado Island. One of the films I've most wanted to see this season, this year-end, it's not even Thanksgiving yet. This year-end movie is a film made by Aki Kaurismäki, who is Finnish. He's not Asian. He is Finnish. And I've seen his last few films and just fallen in love with his work.
What are some of his other films?
Well, Le Havre, which we saw Telluride, and The Other Side of Nowhere, is that what it's called? It deals with the immigrant crisis. It was made 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Anyway, Fallen Leaves is this new movie. He also believes in brevity. Fallen Leaves is 81 minutes long.
Oh, 81 minutes. That's my favorite number of minutes. That's a solid number of minutes.
Awfully good. But it's a wonderful film. It is one of my colleagues online said it's slight.
Yeah.
Well, he's not wrong.
Yeah.
It's not earth-shattering, but it is completely satisfying.
Yeah.
And he has a very dry sense of humor. I mean, really dry. But it made me laugh out loud.
Which is very much of that culture. That is very, very much that. Yeah. It's not far from British, actually.
Yeah.
But they're even more stone-faced. When you get into sort of that, whether it's Finnish or Norwegian, they have that. They're just stone-faced and tell the funniest. Yeah.
I got to see those.
Yeah.
I got to see those films, which I'm so glad I did.
Yeah.
And at our awards dinner, I recommended that they honor our old friend Andreas Deja.
Yep.
Disney legend. That's with capital D, capital L, Disney legend, official. And he became a Disney legend by animating on Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, and all Lion King, all the films of what now they're calling Disney Animation's Renaissance decade.
Yeah.
Well, he was there. Gaston, Beauty and the Beast was his, and Jafar,
and Scar.
Scar.
He's fantastic, and this movie Mushka that he made is a real passion project, truly a passion project. And some of our other friends worked on it as well, and it's exciting.
25 minutes long. He's looking for a distributor.
Yeah. So
you can't see it now online.
Yeah.
But I hope you will be able to sometime soon.
Yeah, exactly. Fingers crossed.
So and then the other people that I met very briefly, I was not overly familiar with. There's an actor named Paul Raci, RACI, who was an Oscar nominee just a couple of years ago for that really terrific film, The Sound of Metal. And he played the counselor. Paul was born of deaf parents.
He's a coda.
Yep.
Now that so many people know that word because of the movie, he's a coda, child of deaf parents.
Yeah. And this part was
deaf adults. Sorry, child of deaf adults.
This part in the film Sound of Metal was just made for him.
Yeah. He's
a Vietnam vet, and he's conducted AA type sessions.
Yeah.
For other vets, and he's agreed to be on our podcast.
Yeah. So we're interviewing him this week, which I'm really excited about. Did you see Past Lives?
Yes. Past Lives. I did see Past Lives, which a lot of people love.
Yeah. This person's saying it's their favorite film of the year.
I know, and you're far from alone in that. The LA Film Critics Association awards vote will be in 2 weeks. 3 weeks ish.
Yeah.
So emails.
That's when my mother and I wave goodbye to my father as he disappears into the den of film critics, and then we hope to hear back after a few hours.
Emails are flying.
Bibs in his emails. He is
and they're all
next level.
They're all full of recommendations.
Yes, Arthur's saying like Lon Chaney. Yeah, Lon Chaney was a coda too.
Yes, exactly. and I brought that up.
Yep.
To him, and he knew of that, of course.
Which to be honest, I didn't know. That just came up because we were having this conversation. I didn't know that Lon Chaney's parents were deaf. Now I do. Fascinating. Which led me to look up when ASL became standardized, which is really interesting. because they sort of say the 50s and 60s. That's when it kind of happened. And then I don't know if you guys have had this experience. It sounds stupid when I say it, but you just have to. I didn't think about the fact that ASL is American Sign Language. And so when you go to other places, the sign language is going to be different. Again, I realize this sounds stupid, but stay with me. The idea that deaf people in different places can't speak to each other was like, who thought that was the way to go? Wait a minute. And the way that I found this out was I was in the UK. I was at one of the biggest gay clubs in the UK called GAY with a bunch of friends. And this person next to me was signing to someone. And so he looked to me and I went like this. And then I signed my name because I can sign Jessie. I said, I'm Jessie, and I signed my name. And he had a little computer in his hand and he typed out, "Oh, you're American."
Huh.
And I said, how the hell does he know I'm American? He can't hear me speaking. And because it's interesting, but specifically so in the UK, especially, they use both hands more.
Mm-hmm.
Americans, it's more of a one hand, not all the time, but it can be more one-handed in the UK. It's like when you do the alphabet in America, in American Sign Language, it's one hand that you do it with. In the UK, it's both hands. So just not little, but significant differences. But I just had this moment where I went, so wait a minute, if a deaf person travels, they can't talk to another deaf person? And it just sort of blew my mind. As I say, I realized saying it out loud, you go, well, duh. But at the moment, I must have been like 20. I just thought, what? What a crazy thing to have to do, as if it's not complicated enough for you. You can't even talk to someone else. Yeah. Just seemed crazy to me. Louise Fletcher was a coda.
Yes. And which she demonstrated when she won her Academy Award.
Yeah. I remember because I've seen, I've seen
that. So it was a lovely weekend. Yeah. And we got to stay at the Hotel del Coronado, the historic and beautiful.
Is part of the whole thing.
Yeah. Built in 1888. Yeah. One of the first major public places, institutions, whatever you want to call it, to be lit by electricity and to be powered by electricity.
Yeah.
Many, many firsts, many things. Well, that's where Billy Wilder shot
Some Like It Hot. That's why people are familiar with it. It's where they shot Some Like It Hot.
So for the first edition of the festival, Chris Lemon, Jack's son, and I introduced a showing of Some Like It Hot outdoors at dusk on the beach where they actually shot it, or some of it.
And this is something that not just the festival does, but the hotel will do periodically, because why the hell not?
And that first year, we also had a showing of The Stuntman, Richard Rush's audacious and very entertaining movie starring Peter O'Toole. And we had Richard Rush, who wrote and directed it, Chuck Bale, who was the stunt coordinator, and it's full of stunts, and Steve Railsback, who was the young leading man, who falls under the spell of Eli Cross, great character name, played by Peter O'Toole. So we've had wonderful experiences there every year, and I'm grateful to them for inviting me back.
Shannon saying, do you think we'll see an end soon to all the 3-hour plus movies? In my dream, Shannon. Look, I think most people, and I know this because people make fun of my dad for this, that he often complains about the length of movies. But there's a reason he complains about the length of movies. It's because they're too long. I just feel like because now it's allowed, people are not editing the way they need to edit.
It's called self-discipline.
But that's it, because they believe that they can now have a 3-hour movie, 3.5-hour movie. They are. Whether it needs to be that long or not, they just think, well, but everyone else is doing it.
On the other hand, the other night in my class, I showed Naiad.
Yes.
Which is now playing online.
On Netflix.
And I watched this for a second time. I didn't intend to. I thought, I don't feel like reading it. I'll watch the movie again. I enjoyed it all over again.
Yeah.
I mean, completely. And I appreciated it all the more.
Yeah.
Annette Bening and Jodie Foster together are just sensational. There's no acting. They are these characters. They inhabit these characters.
Scott and I did not feel that way at all, which is so funny.
Well, that could be generational.
Yeah. I didn't think I liked them. because I watched more of it.
Yeah.
We talked about this the other day. I love the documentary,
Mm-hmm.
Another Shore. I love the documentary about Diana Nyad. My parents had never seen it, so they watched Nyad and loved it. I tried watching it, and to be honest with you, just wanted them to get to the actual her doing the swim, because that's what's really fascinating, is learning about all the things that she had to do and all of her tries and where things went wrong and blah blah blah. But even just watching a bit of it, they're good. They're never not good. It's Annette Bening and Jodie Foster, but I didn't feel the way you and Mommy felt.
Okay.
And I don't know if that's because I know the characters or if I just didn't. I just didn't.
It seemed to play well with my class. They laughed in all the
Yeah.
and all that.
Well, we'll see next week. We'll see what they think.
But in any case, so that Nyad now jumps onto my top 10 list.
Yeah,
for sure.
When I watched Killers of the Flower Moon, the length ruined it for me. It should have been an hour shorter. The last part was a struggle to get through. Many friends I've spoken to have said that. I think it's really tricky because on the one hand, I understand that a filmmaker can do as they wish. And certainly if you are Scorsese or Spielberg or any of the, you're going to get people who, feel like, well, they're going to do what they want to do. But it's hard that so many of these films are getting to these lengths. And
without intermission.
Yeah. Multiple people are mentioning that, saying, why don't they just, and you could advertise an intermission. And again, this is where we say we spoke about this with you guys the other day, but in theater, there are intermissions. Granted, every now and then there are not, but in general, and pretty much almost always, there's an intermission. And
go to a Broadway show. There's going to be sometimes two.
Because something is so good, you get back into it.
Yep.
And I think that could be the case if you trust your film. Will you be watching the theatrical cut or the Apple TV director's cut of Napoleon? Well,
tomorrow night, I'm going to introduce a screening of Ridley Scott's Napoleon in Screen X. Screen X, I saw it about a year ago when your mom and I went to see Avatar: The Way of Water. Screen X is kind of a variation on Cinerama. Instead of a curved screen, it's a screen that expands on the sides with images that are sort of an extension of what you're seeing on the center screen.
Mm-hmm.
And it was fun. It was cool. I remember when going to the movies used to be fun. It was a cool thing, and only for selected scenes, not for the whole movie. And I couldn't wait to ask James Cameron his involvement, because obviously someone on the production had to be working. He didn't know what I was talking about.
Rodney says, you guys are nuts. I like long movies. I wouldn't cut a second out of Oppenheimer or Killers of the Flower Moon. Further editing would not make them better. Rodney, that's what we call an opinion, and everyone is allowed to have one of those.
Listen, there are many long movies I loved, from Gone with the Wind to Lawrence of Arabia, to Malcolm X.
What does everybody keep saying? A good movie, good movie is never too long, and a bad movie is never short enough.
Exactly.
So everybody's going to have different responses to it. What we're saying is that it has become this almost like a standard now. Just as for a very long time, 90 minutes. 90 minutes is what you aimed for. We love that 90 minutes. And now suddenly it's not. And so this is the thing, is do you want every single filmmaker now going, well, my film's going to be at least 3 hours, like minimum 3 hours? No, most things don't need to be that long. And as I say, if somebody wants it, if somebody enjoys that, they're allowed to enjoy it. You're allowed to enjoy whatever you like. But I just would love to make sure that filmmakers are really being judicious with that. And kind of like when different trends come in and out, right? Well, all of a sudden you had all these 3D movies. Why were they 3D? No particular reason. But it's the thing. So they did it. And
to bilk the moviegoers of an extra $1.
Yeah, exactly. But so that's the thing. No, you're allowed to like whatever you like. But we don't call each other crazy or nuts. Let's not call each other nuts. We're allowed to have different opinions.
Another tangent.
Oh, boy.
Another reason we had a good time last weekend was that friends of ours, good friends of ours, had just taken the TCM cruise, which disembarked in San Diego. So they came and joined us at the Hotel del Coronado, and we had fun being with them. And they are the proprietors of Boston Light and Sound, which is a company that installs projection equipment, creates pop-up theaters for the Sundance Film Festival, and has done projection at Telluride all over the world. They toured with Napoleon, with talk about long movies.
Yeah, right.
With Abel Gance and Napoleon decades ago. Anyway, Chapin Cutler told me one of his pet peeves. And I want to pass this along because I've never seen this anywhere mentioned. One of his pet peeves about projection, and you can go online and find lots of articles and lots of rants about lousy projection, not enough light, spilling off the screen, not the right ratio, all of that. He says he can't believe there's a projectionist who calls himself that, who doesn't clean the port window.
Oh, please.
Both sides.
Yeah.
Obviously, the interior one is going to get more gunk on it.
Yeah.
And smoke and whatever else. What other what are they called? Are particulates? Gunk in the air.
There you go.
Anyway, and when he visits a booth and sees that they haven't just cleaned the window.
Scott, it goes nuts with masking, with proper masking of things.
Sure.
Okay, my husband is an LX guy, a lighting guy, and he will be watching something and he'll point it out. He'll go, how could they not have done the masking better on that? What was wrong with them? Or if somebody hasn't put their cords, but that was one of the biggest shocks for him going from theater into television. And this is when he was still in the UK. My husband is from England, and he for the first time was going to go work for the BBC in Manchester, do a day at the BBC. He walks onto a soundstage that is permanently that soundstage, so nothing gets moved. And there were wires and sandbags everywhere. Well, my husband does theater, and he's usually traveling with theater, so you have to be so neat and tidy and meticulous about where everything goes. And he walks into this and they're just sandbags and wires and cords. And he was shocked by it. And it's just so funny. You get used to whatever you're used to, but he'd never seen mess quite like that, which just still makes me laugh. A bunch of people are asking if you've seen Rustin, which you have.
Yes. Worth seeing for a
Coleman Domingo.
Superficial history lesson, but a decent one. And Coleman Domingo's great performance is Bayard. I thought it was Bayard, but it's Bayard Rustin, who was a community activist and civil rights leader who didn't get along with a lot of the other leaders of that time. And that's part of the interest here, is that he and Martin Luther King were good friends. And then that friendship was put to the test. That's not a spoiler. That's the premise. So it's worth seeing, and he is terrific. The film is okay, but it is impressive and inspiring to know that the March on Washington in 1963 was put together essentially by a ragtag team of volunteers.
It's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
You did see May December,
starring Julianne Moore and Natalie Portman. And Todd Haynes' film. He did not write it, but he directed it. I liked it.
You liked but did not love.
Yeah, I liked it. Again, you're watching two, superior actresses at work, and it's a spin on the real life story of Mary Kay Letourneau, the school teacher who
dated and then married her 7th grader student,
or as it says online, who raped.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Her
12-year-old student,
and
then married him and bore him 2 children.
That's right. Next Goal Wins. I really, really, really want to see it.
Yeah.
We have not seen it yet, and I really, really, really want to see it.
Yeah.
The Marvels. You just showed The Marvels in your class.
Yes.
I haven't even asked you. Did you like it?
I thought it was okay.
Yeah.
I liked it better than some other recent ones.
Okay.
Under 2 hours. and had some lightness to it.
Okay. Well, that
Had
is,
some,
we've been missing some of that
yeah,
levity.
had some lightness to it.
Okay.
But largely because of the young actress,
Right.
Iman I don't want to say her name wrong.
Just say Iman then. Let's say
Okay,
Iman
who
for
plays
now.
Ms. Marvel. She's playing Ms. Marvel on the TV show of the same name, and she plays Ms. Marvel in this movie. And she came to my class the day after SAG-AFTRA settled or tentatively settled
Yeah.
the strike.
They still have to vote. Until they
Anyway,
vote, it's not over.
Iman Varani, I think is her name, but
Yeah.
but she's a lot of fun in the film and in person. My class was very harsh on that film.
Oh boy. What were the hands?
Mostly negative.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Some iffy, but at the beginning of every class, I ask, okay, show of hands, how many people liked last week's movie? How many people didn't like last week's movie?
How many
people
so-so?
So-so? That's the international sign for so-so. And it's rare that we have unanimity. Rare.
Yeah.
It does happen, like the Holdovers, for instance. Alexander Payne's The Holdovers.
Thank goodness.
Got a smashing response.
Yeah.
As it deserves to.
Yeah.
And I'm very proud of being quoted.
Hell yeah.
On
That's why
one.
I took a picture of the TV. Sorry, my lupus flares have been crazy. Some of you follow me on Instagram have seen it. My flares on my face have been nonstop. I just see, so you see how I'm bright red right here? And it's super hot. It's a lupus flare. It's when the histamines are releasing for no reason, like you're having an allergic reaction, but you're having an allergic reaction to nothing. So your face just, in my case, parts of my face turn really, really bright red, which is super fun. And that's why I'm putting cold water on it, because it hurts.
Now,
but what else? So you had that and they reacted ish to it.
Yeah.
And then Killers of the Flower Moon, you said was mostly positive.
Mostly positive.
And then we'll find out. Well, no, not next week. The following week we'll find out.
I teach on Thursday, so we won't be on.
Won't be in for this week because of Thanksgiving. I really want to see Next School Wins. I really hope it's good.
Mm-hmm.
I want it to be good. You guys, is someone else asking about the Albert Brooks documentary? You guys loved it.
Wow.
Loved it. Loved it. Loved it.
What a treat. What a treat. My students don't know who he is.
Yeah.
Like about 6 hands went up when I asked. Albert Brooks is one of my heroes. That's a simple way of putting it.
Yeah.
Certainly in comedy, he's one of my comedy heroes for sure.
Yeah.
A brilliant guy. We just watched him and Rob Reiner on Real Time with Bill Maher.
You were saying, yeah.
It was an HBO special, so you can find it. You can stream it. It's called Albert Brooks Defending My Life, which is a play on words because he made a movie called Defending Your Life.
Yeah.
Which is one of his outstanding movies.
Yeah.
He started as a stand-up comedian. His father was a performer.
We talked about all of this, Albert Einstein.
Hey, I don't have to go into all that.
We talked about all this.
Anyway.
But yeah, you are a fan.
I'm a fan. I don't know if somebody who would just be introduced to him would feel the same way. I mean, it's preaching to the choir watching this movie. Yeah. But I loved it.
Oh, someone over here says, I'm one of the students who loves Al. Well, bless you, student who loves Al. That's wonderful. He's so good. There's a movie that I love and will love to the day I die called My First Mister. And it is, I think, different for him in a lot of ways because it's not fun. It's not meant to be funny.
He's a wonderful actor.
Yeah. And it's just so good. There are moments that are cheesy, but I just think it's such a good movie.
Lily Sobieski.
Yeah, Lily Sobieski is the woman in it.
And Christine Lottie.
Yeah. It's just this two weirdos find each other, and one is an adult and one is a teenage girl, or I guess she might be in her 20s in it. I guess she's supposed to be young,
younger than him.
Yeah, but there's nothing romantic about it. There's no weirdness.
No, there's nothing salacious
at all. It's just about these two people who find each other and they give each other what they need in friendship. And as I say, it's just beautiful. It's really beautiful. And there are several lines in it that I love and I recite. But yeah, it's one of those movies that enough people don't know about. I would love to show it someday at Maltin Fest. I think that would be a blast.
If you don't know Albert Brooks, you do. He's the father in Finding Nemo.
Yeah, there you go. Most importantly,
there's a key, and the warmth of his performance, as the dad in Finding Nemo is indicative of his range, what he's capable of.
Someone's asking about the holdovers. Well, if you haven't been here for my dad yelling and screaming about his joy over the holdovers, my goodness. Yes, my dad loves the holdovers. He's a big fan. I have not gotten to see it. I'm really looking forward to when we get a screener so I can see it. He's quoted, that's what he was saying before, he's quoted in the TV ad. I took a picture of the TV because
that is,
I will do that forever.
If you don't blink.
No. It's like a solid 3-4 seconds.
Oh my.
It's a solid couple of seconds that your name is there. And it's not one of the squishy ones. It's actual, like I could read it because it was nighttime and I was going to bed and I read it.
Okay.
So I think that counts. I was very excited. Arthur, yeah. Oh yeah, Arthur, I'm a mess. I have a lot of health issues. That's just how I roll. That is my natural state, is slightly broken. But I'm okay.
Also, we didn't get to talk about the Egyptian theater.
Yes, you finally got to go.
The grand reopening of the Egyptian theater. Sid Grauman's Egyptian theater, which originally opened with Douglas Fairbanks in Robin Hood in 1922 and reopened in 1998 after an extensive renovation.
Yeah.
But the renovation was not historically accurate. It was just a way of shoring up the theater for quake protection and making it amenable.
Yeah.
And that worked. This is a complete restoration that was when it opened in 1922.
Yeah.
Sid Grauman had to come to Los Angeles and open the $1 Million Theater downtown on Broadway. And then he did the Egyptian Theater, which brought him into the heart of Hollywood. And then in 1927, he moved down a few blocks and opened Grauman's Chinese Theater.
Which is why we will call it Grauman's Chinese till the day we die, regardless of who owns it.
Yeah.
Because right now it's the whatever the hell
TCL.
it is. TCL.
The Chinese company owns it.
And we don't call it that.
And they're taking good care of it, and God bless them. So that's fine.
Jamie, I don't know have you ever watched any YouTube reactors? What do you mean? Sorry, I don't know what that is, what that means. I don't know. Timothy says, I've always loved Albert Brooks. A lot of people are saying how much they love Albert Brooks. Saw The Holdovers yesterday, top 5 of the year for sure. Just bought the Criterion release of Mulholland Drive and Memories of Murder. Any thoughts on these two films?
I'm not a fan of Mulholland Drive. So we'll have to part company there, opinion-wise. And the other one?
One second. Sorry. It's moving. Sorry. The other one is, Memories of Murder.
It's been too long.
Yeah, there you go. We haven't seen Wish yet. I know people have started being able to see it. We haven't seen it yet. I don't really get to go to the movies at this moment.
It's opening before Thanksgiving.
But they're screening like crazy.
Yeah.
They've had a lot of screenings of it.
But we're going to show
mostly
it in class.
I'm hearing good. I've heard a handful of not fans, but mostly people seem to think it's all right. I haven't heard anybody say it's their favorite thing ever, but I haven't heard much negative, if that makes sense. I hope it's good. I want it to be good.
I'll be showing it in my class.
Yep.
And so I'm holding off seeing it when it opens.
So you can see it with everybody else.
See it with everybody else.
Yep. YouTube reactors are people watching a video or film for the first time with clips of said film superimposed. No, I've never watched. No. The closest thing to that, I guess, is Doug Benson Interruptions. Right. Where you watch a movie with him in it and he just comments as you watch, which is genuinely hilarious.
That's how Alice and I saw
Roar,
the notorious Tippi Hedren film.
Yeah.
Where she and her entire family are mauled, but not mauled. They're living amongst wild animals in Africa.
Yeah.
It's crazy. The film is insane.
Yeah.
So having Doug and 2 other stand-up comics talk back to the screen
Yeah.
was just right.
Perfect.
Struck just the right note.
Yeah. Because when you're watching something insane like that, you want to hear somebody else going, what? Have you ever seen The Honeymoon Killers?
I have not.
Ages ago.
That's a major cult film.
Yeah.
That I should have seen and haven't. There are holes like that in my
yeah, it happens.
In my movie-going diary.
That's right. You're holding this box, and it seems that you are prepared to open said box.
Well, I just like the people
because they're starting to come in.
Yeah.
So 'tis the season, my friends, of the promotional box, and you never know what you're going to find. You never know what they're going to send. Sometimes it's great. Sometimes it's pointless. Sometimes it's very clever. We like the clever ones. So this box came.
Wrong,
no, I'm not. I'm just trying to open it without flashing your address, you see. So what came for this box, it says Naiad on it. We've got one of those professional towel things that like dries you super fast.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yes. Yes, it is. This is not an easy thing to show.
Wicks away moisture?
I think that's the concept.
Okay.
I can't see it. You have to tell me how it's going.
Okay.
Is there a fish?
No,
it's I'm joking. I'm joking.
She's joking.
I'm joking. No. It's I do believe it is her swimming is the concept there.
Oh,
then we've got the actual DVD, and my favorite part of these is what's written on the back, which are all the things they want you to consider nominating. So we've got, they want you to nominate Best Actress, Annette Bening, Best Supporting, Jodie Foster, Best Adapted Screenplay, Best Score, Best Supporting Actor, Best Costume Design, Best Hair. My favorite part of that is I want to be the guy who gets it and goes, what do you mean you don't want me nominated? What do you mean they didn't list so-and-so? How dare they? They've also included the score.
Alexandre Desplat, plus some very good needle drops.
Desplat back there.
Got Simon Garfunkel, got Neil Young.
And then we have very fancy, a Naiad water bottle. Onward. And this is the same image that's on the towel. So,
now, what is the point or purpose of this? You may well ask.
Yeah.
Well, is it going to make me want to see the film if I haven't seen it? No. Is it going to make me like the film if I didn't like it? No. It's just to call attention to it.
Yep.
It's just.
We got a huge one for holdovers the other day, like genuinely massive and giant box.
And what they did for the holdovers, which takes place at a prep school, New England prep school, in 1970, Christmas 1970, is they did a mock logo.
Yeah, they did like a sweatshirt. It looks like a college or a school sweatshirt.
Barton is the name of the academy. Barton Academy for Boys.
But just a big old thing.
And then a set of pencils, number 2 pencils.
Yep.
Say Barton, and what else is in there? Something else. Oh, a notebook, a nice journal or notebook.
Yeah.
That also has the name of the prep school. Again, if you didn't like the film, you're not going to use any of this stuff.
Though every year I tell, and this is true, but when I was growing up, they used to send, this was true for anything. They used to send a lot of swag. This stopped a few years ago because people got in trouble for it. But my socks would be from a movie. Every shirt my dad wore would be from a movie. My backpack for many years in middle school was the Carrot Top backpack. They sent it out for a special he was doing. It was a bright orange JanSport backpack. That was my backpack for years, and it said Carrot Top on it. My pencils usually, but the thing is, everybody I went to school with was the same. So we all had everything had some kind of a logo. Some places you go, you see Adidas and Nike. Ours were like Sony, Paramount,
But this is not a promo t-shirt. Look, can we tilt down for just a moment?
We can. 1 second.
This
He's
is
very
something
proud of
I
this.
I
Hang
pay
on.
for with my hard-earned dollars.
First National Pictures.
Yep, 1920s.
Hang on. I'll dip Instagram over here so you
Yeah.
can see as well. There you go.
A great guy named Brian Nelson used to bring these to the Cinefest in Syracuse
Yes.
and sell them for very reasonable prices. And he liked defunct logos,
Yeah.
or logos for defunct companies.
We still have to get you a new Cinerama shirt.
Yeah.
There's that hole in that Cinerama shirt.
Yep.
Yeah. This is one of my jobs, is that when his shirts get holes in them, I have to try and find these obscure things. I scour the internet to locate obscure things for my dad. It's one of my party tricks.
Okay.
Yes.
So Bugs Bunny's 50th birthday was in 1990.
Yeah.
Since he they consider him officially born in Wild Hare, Tex Avery's film A Wild Hare in 1940. So 1990, they did some cool merchandising when they were still actively merchandising Bugs Bunny.
Yeah.
And a clock, an alarm clock.
Yeah.
Which is shaped like a medallion.
Yeah.
That folds open. And I've had that in my bathroom ever since. Now, it does get splashed on every now and then.
Yes.
It's not treated like a precious artifact.
Yeah.
I've tried to find one on eBay. I finally found one and put in an offer for it because I thought it was priced a little high. And the guy hasn't responded.
How dare he?
So
how dare they?
If any of you were flea marketing today, and just happen to run across,
tell Mauricio. He's the one who's always. If anybody could find it, it's him. Defunct Logos would be a good band name. I agree with you.
That's true.
That was a big, heavily marketed event with the rabbit. I missed those. Yeah. It's so funny.
Well, that year,
some of the stuff that they come up with.
That year, your mother and I and Randy Haberkamp co-hosted the Cinecon at the Hollywood Roosevelt Hotel. And they were issuing 50th anniversary glassware. And I think Shell, one of the big oil companies.
Sure.
And you could go to the gas station, and if you bought a tank of gas, you could, I think, buy it for $3. I don't remember what the deal was. It was a good deal, though.
Yeah.
And we said, well, let's get enough of these so we can put them at every place sitting.
Yeah.
For our Sunday night banquet. So we cornered the market in those glasses. And now we have like one left.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
It's so funny. It's just ridiculous. Jesse, don't tell people it's a flare-up, but tell people it's a very expensive rouge made exclusively for you by La Mer. You know what? That's an excellent way to go about it. I like the way you think. The problem is that it's only on one side. So this side tends not to flare as much as this side does. So I'd have to explain why only this side has that bright redness to it. But again, as I say, very creative, and I like where your head's at.
Craig is asking, so he's always asking about the recent movies.
Yes.
I've seen 2 of those 3 that you're naming. Showing Up, the newest film from Kelly Reichardt.
Yeah.
Talented writer-director who makes a very, very low-key movies.
Yeah.
Really low-key.
Yeah. You have to be in the mood.
Yeah. And we watched that last night with Michelle Williams. It's either her 3rd or 4th film.
Yeah.
Michelle Williams has been in. And Hong Chow.
Yeah.
And Judd Hirsch. And in infinitesimally small roles, Amanda Plummer and Matt Malloy. I don't know how they justified the airfare to Portland, Oregon for them because they're barely in the movie. But this one didn't get me.
Yeah?
No.
Didn't work for you?
Didn't work for me.
Okay.
And I'm not giving up on Kelly Reichardt.
No, never. No.
Her last film, First Cow,
was
one of her best. And even my students liked it. And they're
Do you remember what they sent for that last year?
No.
It was a thing of wallpaper of cows. That was the promo for First Cow last year. It was a giant thing of wallpaper for cows. My sister has lupus, and those flare-ups are just torture for her. I hope yours ends quickly. Thank you. Yeah, my face and my chest tend to get it the worst. which is tough, again, only because I now have a small human. And if I try to put ice or something on my face, she just wants to take it off and play with it. So you just sort of have to get around that. WB tried doing a big birthday again a few years ago with Bug's 80th, but that was at the height of COVID. Yeah, it's weird how different studios pick and choose what they want to celebrate and what they want to make a fuss over.
Well, Warner Brothers actually corporately didn't recognize any character's debut.
Yeah.
Because they didn't want to give him an age. And I get that.
Yeah.
Bugs Bunny is ageless.
Yeah.
Tweety and Sylvester are ageless.
Yeah.
And that's how it ought to be. But
Yeah.
we don't live in the real world. We live in
part sort of a weird,
We live part-time in the real world.
Oh, thanks, Ken. Ken says he loved the videos of Daisy at Disneyland. Yes, I took my daughter to Disneyland. And man, have they changed that park. There was so much, there were a lot of new restaurants. There's a lot of new stuff in general. It's weird. I don't love it. But for me, what I love about Disneyland is I love walking in. I love that it looks, at least theoretically, looks like it has always looked. They change certain things, but in a general sense, you walk in, you see Mickey Mouse, you see the train, and it's like, oh, okay, we're here. And then you walk onto Main Street, USA. And again, it's like, oh, okay. The problem that we had was that it was obscenely crowded. And it really shouldn't have been. And Disney talks about their new system of reservations, that's supposed to make that better.
Crowd management.
It's a lie. And that was very stressful because it was just really crowded. And this was on a Tuesday at 3:00 in the afternoon. It was, I couldn't let Daisy run around, which was really hard because obviously that's all she wants to do. So that was not my favorite thing. But the most important things happened. She saw Minnie Mouse and said, "Hi, Minnie." And that was very special. She met Daisy Duck and waved and shook her hand. That was very good. We got a picture of that one. She got to meet Pluto. It was very exciting. And she now sort of knows what Santa is. And she calls him Ho-Ho. And when she was watching the parade, hi, Logan. When she was watching the parade and was reacting to Mickey and Minnie and Donald and Goofy and everybody, it was absolutely glorious. And I loved every minute of that. So as chaotic as everything was, I loved getting to watch Daisy experience this. I hope to take her, maybe if we take her again in March on a Wednesday or something. I hope to take her when she can actually run around more easily.
Yeah.
But I love Disney at Christmas. It's just so beautiful. It's stunning. It's absolutely stunning. So that was a blast. She really wanted to climb the tree. She kept walking over. They have a giant, the biggest tree when you walk in. And she kept going up to me, my husband, and our two friends who we were with, and kept going up. And I said, "Baby, if I could let you climb that tree, I would let you climb that tree. Maybe I should let her next time and just see what happens."
I didn't finish the Egyptian theater.
Oh, sure.
Only to say that it is beautiful. The restoration is beautiful.
They did a fantastic job.
It will require a lot of mental handiwork to get used to the new layout. The men's room is not there anymore. It's over here.
Yeah.
The direct entrance to the upper seating is not there. It's here. Things like that. Dumb things like that. Yeah. Because that's how we've been going there since 1998.
Yeah.
But
you know what? You're going to figure it out.
We're going to figure it out.
You and your bladder are going to figure it out.
It's still a great screen. And the ceiling is gorgeous.
Alan Rohde has been there every day. He's been posting every single day from there. Yes, Craig, we are going to be posting his Maestro review this week. That will go up happily. And I'm so glad that that's one, if you don't remember, we did talk about before, and my parents loved Maestro. They love Maestro. Have you been in the Phantom Theater stage from the silent era?
It's no longer at Universal.
Yeah.
There are differing stories on what they did with it, whether they wrecked it, stored it, wrapped it up. All was left.
Probably all three.
Apparently all that was left on that stage were one wall of boxes.
Yeah.
From the Paris Opera House. So I don't think I don't know that it's a catastrophic loss for all time, but it's not available to be seen now. The stage is still the stage.
Yeah.
But an empty stage is an empty stage.
Yeah, exactly. Great job, Universal. Every time. One second. Oh, Doug has an excellent question. Did you ever meet Toots Thielman?
Yes, more than once.
And was there a competition between him and Larry Adler?
Not that either man would admit to.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, those are the two most famous and arguably the most accomplished harmonica players of their time. Toots in the jazz realm and Larry Adler in popular and classical. And Larry Adler was quite the raconteur. He got in trouble with during the witch hunt era. I don't know if he was a communist, but he was very far left leaning. And he moved
Not quite a communist.
He moved to England, where he was taken up by the royal family. They were very fond of him.
Nick is saying that Toots did the famous closing theme of Sesame Street.
Yes, I asked him that one night backstage at a nightclub where he had just finished a set, because I'd listened to it that day. The TV was on. I said, "Is that you on the theme of Sesame Street?" He says, "Of course it is." He says, 25 years ago. They ought to pay me something else for still using it.
I love it. Happy Thanksgiving, and the same to you, Patrick. Has Chuck Norris made any notable films for better or worse since the late 1990s? I find Chuck Norris fascinating because, as I always say, I am fascinated by pop culture. How did he become not a joke as in at his expense, but how did he become a joke? As in, when you say Chuck Norris, there's all these things. You'll see memes. There are thousands of Chuck Norris memes. And I just wonder who put him into that spot and how it became a thing and how he became, as I say, a punchline, but not on at his expense. I don't know.
You can get some of the answers by reading your friend Nick DeSemelian's book on the action stars of the 80s.
There you go.
What's it called?
Knock Around Guys or something like that. Hang on.
A terrific new book, a very carefully researched, well-written, amusing, and informative book.
The Last Action Heroes.
The Last Action Heroes.
The Last Action Heroes.
A very good book, worth reading.
Nick is one of my favorite people. He's fantastic. He works for Empire Magazine in the UK, which is one of the last surviving movie magazines.
Yeah.
And he is extremely devoted, cares about this so much.
He has savvy.
He really does. And his books have been great. So I'm very proud of him. If you could serve up a helping of movies that make you thankful, what would your menu be?
Movies that make me thankful. Oh, by the way, Anatomy of a Fall. The other one I did see. Very compelling.
Yeah.
Really compelling, because you don't know where it's going. You don't know where it's headed.
And what's the other one you just watched? The other foreign one.
That
one.
Zone of Interest.
Zone of Interest. There you go.
Jonathan Glazer's film.
Yeah.
These are films that we missed at Telluride.
You're finally catching up on, which is nice. If you mean in the sense of movies that make you thankful, as in, hey, this is a really good movie and I'm thankful for a good movie, there's
so many.
A handful that I love. We always go back to his favorite filmmakers currently, Alexander Payne, Jeff Nichols. I love Election. I think it is brilliant. That's another one. In a different director, but Rushmore. I love that movie. I will love Rushmore till I die. It's so clever. There's a lot. There's a lot of movies. I like movies that make me happy. That is inevitably what I go to. I will say The Birdcage till the day I die. I love The Birdcage. If you just want to laugh and have a fantastic time and watch some of the best actors, really. You know, you Diane Wiest. Like, are you kidding me?
Right on down the line.
You know, everyone in that movie is so talented, and it just makes me laugh. And I love if something can make me laugh and make you have a good time. As I say, what more do you want than to laugh and have a wonderful time? Are there any movies you guys are looking to find/buy during the Black Friday sales this weekend? You know, he gets them. So this is one of the few places where he doesn't tend to buy much.
A friend of ours said years ago, okay, so you get movies for free.
Yeah.
But you have to pay retail for furniture.
Yeah, there you go.
My Uncle Sal sells furniture and gives us a great price.
There you go.
But we have to pay to go to the movies or to buy a DVD.
Yeah. So yeah, we get movies. That's the one thing we do not buy. But we buy many other things, just not movies. Someone is going to ask me if you've seen Wish. We did speak about that just a minute ago. We haven't seen it yet. My dad's showing it at his class, so he's holding off because he wants to watch it with his students. I hope to see it and I hope to like it. I really like Chris Pine's singing voice. I really thought he was excellent in Into the Woods. And yeah, I hope it's good. I want it to be good. This person is saying it's one of the most disappointing films of the year for me. I get that. As I say, I haven't heard anyone dislike it to the degree you're saying, but I also haven't heard people say, "Oh, this is fantastic. I love it." One of our friends posted about how they think it's funny that in the 100th year of Disney, where they're making such a splash, they've had one of their weakest slates, which is interesting. But yeah, I don't know.
If you haven't seen Once Upon a Studio,
yeah, that's the winner, isn't it?
That is, drop everything. Turn off your computer, drop everything.
Yeah.
And go to Disney Plus if you have it.
Yeah.
And watch it. It's about 20 minutes long.
Yeah.
It's called Once Upon a Studio. It will restore your sense of joy.
Yeah.
Of the possibility of joy.
Yeah.
What is it? What it says in our Declaration of Independence? The pursuit of happiness.
The pursuit of happiness.
Yes.
And if you know what I just quoted, we could probably be friends. Yeah, it's several people are asking about sort of Thanksgiving movies. And again, we don't really watch stuff according to time.
Yeah.
As funny as that sounds. And no more than anybody else, because, White Christmas is going to be on TV. So we'll end up watching that. It's that kind of a thing. But usually we're always trying to catch up with everything. And obviously I am extremely far behind at the moment. So I'm really hoping to catch up a bit as we start to get screeners. And when my child naps, I will try to watch movies. That is the only thing I can hope to do. Nick is asking if we're worried about the future of Walt Disney Animation. I will tell you why I'm not.
There are good people there.
I think that everything is cyclical, right? And so things will become popular. And as I say, you have something like 3D, where everybody was making 3D movies for absolutely no reason, other than yes, money, obviously, but I mean, in the sense of it wasn't for art, initially it was that, but then that passes. Well, there's a lot of different people making animated films right now. And, again, we're hoping that the Chicken Run movie is good.
Yes.
Aardman, they're so good, and I hope they're good. So I think that, you never know what's going to happen, and we can't really plan ahead. But I hope that Disney will make good movies in the same way that I hope that, Pixar will make good movies. I hope that they will make stuff that we want to share with our families. Obviously, that has been funny with Daisy, with my daughter, figuring out, what to show her. She's so little, I'm not showing her a whole lot.
She
but
doesn't have the attention
she's
span
not there yet. But it is interesting to me that she has no interest in the princesses yet.
Yes.
That doesn't do that. I just think it's interesting. That doesn't do anything for her. Princesses don't do anything for her.
So turning the clock way back.
Yeah.
Until this one was 3 years old.
Okay. What do you mean way back? You calling me old?
She showed no interest in television.
That changed.
She'd walk right by the TV set in our bedroom. Nothing caught her eye. She has more than made up for it since. But for 3 years. And this is in the 80s when home video was still on the rise.
Yeah.
And people were starting to say, use these instructional videos to either subliminally or forcefully.
Directly, yeah.
Yeah, teach your children things.
Funny.
We didn't do that.
No, which is funny because Daisy was immediately attracted to screens and will kill if you get between her and a screen. Yeah. We definitely, that whole screen time thing, that doesn't exist here. She watches a lot. And she loves it. And she learns from it, and I'm okay with it. Yes, I enjoy the British comedy film series Carry On. We like those. I enjoy watching all of those. Thank you. Lynn is saying she's going to watch My First Mister. I think you'll really like it, Lynn. As I say, it has cheesy moments, but I think that it also has a lot of heart, and I think that it's worthwhile. I thought Sesame Street did some good education videos when Jessie came out. I don't remember watching Sesame Street. I don't have any memory of watching Sesame Street. I mostly watched Disney because I remember watching Gummy Bears and Rescue Rangers and all that kind of stuff, but I don't remember watching Sesame Street.
Well, it's for preschoolers, so you have to really dig deep.
Yeah. Again, you're calling me old. I see how it is. Sorry. Thoughts on Michael Schulman's New Yorker article about the end of peak TV? Is it true that the era of great TV is ending? No, not at all.
That's an article I'm about to read.
Yeah.
Too much reading. Stop sending me stuff.
Right? You have too much to read through. No.
We also watched a documentary yesterday.
Would you know that Christine worked on that?
I assumed she did.
Yeah, that's the one she worked on. That's the one. Yeah. No, she did. She's in the credits.
I couldn't find it.
She went to a screening of it yesterday. The Wuzzles, Frank, forever and always the Wuzzles.
Yeah. The disappearance of Cher Height is the documentary.
No, she even took a picture. They went to a screening of it last night for the purpose of getting a picture of the screen.
Okay.
So she could have. And when Eric asked her if she was sure that she was going to be in the credits, she said, I am sure because I made the credits. So when you open production managers, Christine Shaw.
There she is. Okay.
Again, if you don't take photos when your name is on a screen, then I think you're weird. So one time I will call you weird, because if you don't enjoy the weirdness that are seeing your name on a TV screen or on a movie screen, I will do it every single time. I will be your mother. I will take photos. I will send it to friends. I will scream from the rooftops if I see you on a TV. I think that is incredible. I think that it is so cool when someone works hard and they get to see their name like that. That is pretty darn cool, I think.
Well then.
So yeah. And to all of you as well, everyone's saying happy Thanksgiving. I hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving. Veronica was asking what our plans are. Normally we just cook Thanksgiving dinner here. We used to have a really, really big Thanksgiving. We would host 40 or 50 people. But because, again, of Daisy, well, first COVID, of course, and then Daisy, because I'm the one that does the cooking, I cannot devote as much time to that because some small humans do not care if you'd like to do that. They want to go play. So we're having the small Thanksgiving that we've been having for the last few years with just a couple of friends. But really, what more do you need?
Going to watch some portion of the parade.
Yep, always have to watch the parade, but only recorded to be able to fast forward through all the commercials. Because why? I believe there is a Bluey balloon this year.
Oh, really?
I believe they are debuting a Bluey balloon.
Oh my!
So
Oh
that's
my.
exciting for all of us.
And if you don't
I'm
know what
looking forward
Bluey
to it.
is, check out Bluey.
Apparently, they're doing a 100 episode marathon on ABC today. For
Oh
Bluey.
gosh,
Uh,
it's so good.
which here's the thing: I don't need to watch that 100
No,
because I've seen all of them
She's memorized them now.
5,000 times.
Yeah.
And you know, yeah, everybody have a wonderful Thanksgiving. I know that Thanksgiving itself, like where it comes from, some people are against it. I get that. Not an ideal way to start, is it? But focus on the fact that we just get to be grateful. There is so much going on in the world right now. Let's just be grateful. Let's be thankful for the friends we have. Let's be thankful for good food. Let's be thankful for Leonard Maltin stealing all of the pumpkin pie, because that's what he does. And you have to watch him like a hawk. You know, let's all take care of each other.
And let's not play the blame game.
Stop stealing pumpkin pie. We won't have to play the blame game.
Right. Okay.
Everybody take care, and we will see you this weekend. Bye.
Bye-bye. Be kind.